Hello and welcome. Find a comfortable position. Close your eyes if you wish and allow your mind to drift. Tonight, we are journeying far from the bustling surface world, down into the serene, silent depths of the deep ocean. This is a place of profound tranquility, where time seems to slow, and the pressures of the world above simply melt away. Let the gentle current of these facts carry you into a state of deep relaxation, and perhaps into a peaceful sleep. There is nothing to do, nothing to think about. Just listen and float. The ocean is a vast, interconnected body of water that covers over 70% of our planet's surface, but its true immensity is in its depth. The deep ocean, the part that lies beyond the reach of sunlight, makes up more than 95% of the Earth's habitable space. It is the largest single habitat on our world, a boundless three-dimensional universe of quiet dark water, holding mysteries we are only just beginning to understand. Our descent begins in the mesopelagic zone, more commonly known as the twilight zone. It stretches from about 660 feet down to 3,300 feet. Here, the last remnants of sunlight struggle to penetrate, creating a world of perpetual twilight. The light is too faint for photosynthesis, so no plants grow here. It is a world of silhouettes and shadows, a gentle transition from the world of light to the world of complete darkness below. Below the twilight, we enter the bathypelagic zone, or the midnight zone. Here, from 3,300 feet to over 13,000 feet, the darkness is absolute. Not a single photon of sunlight reaches these depths. The water pressure is immense, and the temperature is chillingly constant, just a few degrees above freezing. It is a realm of profound calm and stillness, where life moves at a much slower pace. Even deeper, we find the abyssopelagic zone, the abyss. From 13,000 feet down to the seafloor, this is a world of crushing pressure and eternal cold. The name comes from the Greek word for bottomless, reflecting the ancient belief that it was a place of no return. Yet life persists here, in quiet, isolated pockets, adapted to an existence of profound solitude and darkness. In the absence of sunlight, the deep ocean creates its own. This is bioluminescence, the gentle, cold light produced by living organisms. It is the dominant source of light in this vast habitat. Creatures use it to communicate, to attract prey, or to defend themselves, painting the eternal night with silent, fleeting strokes of blue and green light. It is a quiet, living galaxy in the deep. One of the most famous users of bioluminescence is the anglerfish. In the crushing blackness, she dangles a fleshy, glowing lure from her head. This tiny beacon, powered by symbiotic bacteria, floats hypnotically in the darkness, attracting smaller, curious fish. It is a patient, silent hunt, a single point of light in an endless void, offering a soft, mesmerizing glow. The deep ocean receives a constant, gentle shower of organic material from the waters above. This is known as marine snow. It consists of dead plankton, waste, and other detritus, drifting slowly down for weeks to reach the bottom. To the creatures of the abyss, this is their primary source of food, a life-sustaining blizzard that falls in perfect silence through the darkness, nourishing the quiet life below. With cold temperatures and scarce food, life in the deep moves at a much slower pace. The metabolisms of deep-sea creatures are incredibly slow to conserve energy. They grow slowly, move slowly, and live for a very, very long time. It is a world without hurry, a place where patience is not a virtue, but a fundamental aspect of existence. On the dark ocean floor, there are oases of warmth and life, known as hydrothermal vents. These are fissures in the planet's surface, where superheated, mineral-rich water gushes out from below the Earth's crust. In the absolute darkness, these vents support unique ecosystems, not through sunlight, but through chemical energy. They are like gentle underwater geysers, creating gardens of life in the abyss. The life around these vents is a testament to nature's ingenuity. Instead of photosynthesis, the process that powers most life on Earth, these ecosystems rely on chemosynthesis. Specialized bacteria convert the chemical compounds from the vents, like hydrogen sulfide, into energy. These bacteria form the base of a food chain that is completely independent of the sun, a quiet, self-contained world of its own. Imagine a lake at the bottom of the sea. These are brine pools, surreal bodies of water that are much saltier and therefore denser than the surrounding ocean. They form in depressions on the seafloor, creating distinct shorelines and surfaces. Unwary creatures that wander in can be instantly pickled by the extreme salinity. But for the life that can tolerate the edges, they are rich feeding grounds, existing as calm, otherworldly ponds in the deep. The pressure in the deep ocean is difficult to comprehend. At the bottom of the Mariana Trench, it is over 1,000 times greater than at the surface. This is equivalent to one person trying to support 50 jumbo jets. Yet creatures thrive here. They don't have air pockets like lungs that would be crushed. Their bodies are mostly water, and the pressure inside them is equal to the pressure outside, allowing them to exist in a state of perfect, crushing equilibrium. Sunlight is made of a spectrum of colors. As light travels through water, different colors are absorbed at different depths. Red is the first to be absorbed, disappearing completely within the first few hundred feet. In the deep sea, red light does not exist. This is why many deep-sea creatures are red. In their native environment, their red coloring makes them appear black, rendering them effectively invisible in the dark. Not all deep-sea creatures are fearsome. The Dumbo octopus, named for its large ear-like fins, is one of the most endearing. These small octopuses live on the abyssal seafloor, propelling themselves with slow, rhythmic flaps of their fins. They drift through the water like small, gentle ghosts, pulsing their fins to float gracefully above the ocean bottom in their search for food. The ocean floor is not a flat, featureless plain. It is home to vast mountain ranges and solitary peaks called seamounts. These are underwater mountains, often of volcanic origin, that rise from the seafloor but do not reach the surface. They can be thousands of feet high, their peaks creating unique habitats that attract a rich diversity of life. They are silent, sunken cathedrals in the deep. When a great whale dies in the open ocean, its body slowly sinks, eventually coming to rest on the deep seafloor. This event, known as a whale fall, is a profound gift to the abyss. The massive carcass provides a sudden, immense feast in a world of scarcity. It can sustain a complex, localized ecosystem of scavengers and specialized bacteria for decades, creating a unique community that lives and dies with this single silent offering. The blobfish is often ridiculed for its gelatinous, sad-looking appearance out of water. But this is a distortion caused by extreme depressurization. In its natural habitat, thousands of feet deep, the immense pressure gives its body form. Here, it is just a fish, floating effortlessly just above the seafloor, its body perfectly adapted to the crushing weight of the world around it, a quiet resident of the abyss. The deep ocean is not silent. Sound travels much farther and faster in water than in air. The depths are filled with a symphony of low-frequency sounds, the groans of shifting tectonic plates, the distant songs of whales echoing for hundreds of miles, and the mysterious clicks and whistles of unseen creatures communicating in the dark. It is a constant deep hum of a planet alive. On the soft, muddy floor of the abyss, the tripod fish waits. This remarkable creature rests on three long, stilt-like fins, lifting its body into the gentle current. It stands perfectly still, facing the flow of water, waiting for tiny crustaceans to drift into its waiting pectoral fins. It is a monument to patience, a living sculpture that can remain motionless for hours on end, simply waiting for the ocean to bring its sustenance. A curious phenomenon in the deep ocean is gigantism, where some species grow to be much larger than their shallow water relatives. The giant isopod, a crustacean that looks like a huge woodlouse, is a prime example. The cold temperatures and high pressure are thought to contribute to this trait, allowing creatures to grow to impressive, slow-moving proportions in the stable, quiet environment. For centuries, the giant squid was the stuff of legend. Tales of sea monsters were likely inspired by fleeting glimpses of these massive creatures. It was only in 2004 that the first images of a live giant squid were captured in its deep-sea habitat. They are shy, solitary animals, living quiet lives in the dark. Their enormous, intelligent eyes built to capture the faintest glimmers of bioluminescent light. When you consider its vastness in all three dimensions, the deep ocean is, by a huge margin, the largest habitat on our planet. It is a world of incredible stability. The temperature, salinity, and darkness remain almost constant for centuries. This eternal consistency provides a uniquely peaceful environment, free from the storms and seasons that define the surface world. It is a place of unending, tranquil night. The vampire squid, despite its name, is a gentle creature. It lives in the oxygen minimum zone, a layer of water where few predators can survive. When threatened, it doesn't flee. Instead, it pulls its webbed arms over its body, creating a dark cloak that hides it from view. As a final defense, it can release a cloud of glowing, sticky mucus, a disorienting light show that allows it to float away, unharmed, into the darkness. The water in the deep ocean moves incredibly slowly. Away from major currents, the water can be almost perfectly still, a state of calm that is unimaginable on the surface. An object dropped into these still waters would fall in a perfectly straight line, undisturbed by any turbulence. The abyssal plains are some of the most tranquil, unchanging environments on the entire planet. To cope with the immense pressure, many deep-sea creatures have soft, gelatinous bodies with minimal skeletal structure. Creatures like jellyfish, squid, and octopuses are perfectly suited for this environment. Their bodies, composed mostly of water, move with a gentle flowing grace, drifting on the slow currents like living water themselves. The deepest part of the ocean is the Mariana Trench in the Western Pacific. Its lowest point, the Challenger Deep, is nearly 7 miles down. If you were to place Mount Everest into the trench, its peak would still be covered by more than a mile of water. It is a place of ultimate depth and pressure, a serene and remote valley at the very bottom of our world. While tropical corals are famous for their vibrant colors, deep-sea corals live a much slower, longer life in the cold darkness. Some species of black coral have been found to be over 4,000 years old. They grow at an excruciatingly slow rate, adding just a few micrometers each year, standing as silent, living witnesses to millennia of the ocean's quiet history. There is a layer in the ocean that is so densely packed with small fish, krill, and squid that it reflects sonar signals, making it appear like a false bottom. This is the deep scattering layer. Every single day, in the largest migration on Earth, the trillions of creatures in this layer journey up to the surface waters to feed at night and descend back into the darkness for safety during the day, a silent daily pulse of life on a planetary scale. At certain depths, typically between 600 and 3,000 feet, there exists an oxygen minimum zone. Here, due to respiration by organisms and chemical processes, the concentration of dissolved oxygen in the water is at its lowest. While challenging for many species, it serves as a safe refuge for creatures specially adapted to low oxygen conditions, a quiet, breathless sanctuary where they can avoid predators. It is often said that we know more about the surface of Mars than we do about our own planet's seafloor. More than 80% of our ocean remains unmapped, unobserved, and unexplored. In an age where every corner of the land seems known, the deep ocean remains the last true frontier on Earth, a vast repository of quiet mystery and undiscovered wonders. The sediments on the deep ocean floor act as a library of Earth's history. The slow, continuous rain of marine snow and dust builds up in layers over millions of years. By taking core samples of this sediment, scientists can read the climate history of our planet, discovering past ice ages and warm periods. The deep ocean floor quietly holds the memory of the world. The deepest living fish ever found was a type of cusk eel, discovered living peacefully at a depth of over 27,000 feet in the Puerto Rico Trench. These pale, ghost-like fish are built to withstand pressures that would pulverize most life forms. They drift slowly over the seafloor, foraging in the sediment, living their entire lives in a world of crushing weight and complete solitude. Similar to hydrothermal vents, cold seeps are areas where fluids and gases like methane and hydrogen sulfide slowly emerge from the seafloor. Unlike the superheated vents, the fluid here is at the same cold temperature as the surrounding seawater. These seeps also support unique ecosystems based on chemosynthesis, creating slow-growing, long-lasting communities of mussels, tube worms, and clams that can live for hundreds of years. The goblin shark is a rare deep-sea creature that looks prehistoric. Its most remarkable feature is a set of protrusible jaws. When prey is near, its jaws can rapidly extend forward to snatch it. But most of the time, this ancient shark is a slow, sluggish swimmer, drifting calmly through the deep, its unusual snout sensing the faint electrical fields of other animals in the dark. It is a quiet, patient hunter. In the cold, dark waters off the coast of Canada, there are vast reefs made not of coral, but of glass sponges. These ancient, delicate structures were thought to have been extinct for millions of years before their discovery. They create complex three-dimensional habitats for countless other species. The water flows through their silica skeletons, which filter out tiny particles of food, a slow, passive process of feeding that sustains these living glass castles. The deep ocean is a realm untouched by the turmoil of the surface. There are no storms, no wind, no rain. The cataclysmic hurricanes and typhoons that churn the surface waters are a distant, unfelt phenomenon. The abyss remains in a state of perpetual, uninterrupted calm. Its tranquility is absolute and has remained unchanged for eons. The deep ocean is a critical component of our planet's climate system. It acts as a massive reservoir, absorbing and storing immense amounts of heat and carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. This process is incredibly slow, with water cycles that can take 1,000 years to complete. The ocean's depths, quietly and patiently, buffer the changes on the surface, helping to keep our planet stable. Comb jellies, or ctenophores, are not true jellyfish. They move through the water using rows of tiny beating cilia. When light hits these cilia, it is scattered into a shimmering rainbow-like display. This is not bioluminescence, but a beautiful physical effect. They pulse with gentle moving rainbows as they drift through the dark, creating one of the most beautiful and serene light shows in nature. One of the most unique inhabitants of the twilight zone is the Pacific barrel-eye fish. It has an entirely transparent head, through which you can see its large, tubular green eyes. These eyes can rotate, allowing the fish to look straight up for the silhouettes of prey, or forward to see what it is eating. It drifts almost motionlessly, its incredible eyes patiently scanning the dim world above. For vast stretches, the floor of the deep ocean is covered in a thick, fine-grained sediment. This ooze, which has accumulated over millions of years from the constant rain of marine snow, is incredibly soft, like fine mud or clay. The creatures that live here are adapted to this gentle substrate, either burrowing into it for safety or resting lightly upon its soft surface. The ocean is divided into two fundamental zones based on light. The photic zone, from the Greek word for light, is the sunlit upper layer where photosynthesis can occur. Below this is the vast aphotic zone, the no-light zone. The transition between these two is not a sharp line, but a slow, gentle fading, a gradual descent from a world we know into a world of quiet, eternal night. Given the sheer volume of the deep ocean, the density of life is extremely low. Encounters between animals can be rare events. Many creatures live their entire lives in profound solitude, drifting through the darkness for years, without seeing another of their kind. It is a world of immense quiet loneliness, but also one of profound, uninterrupted peace. Below a certain depth, the temperature of the ocean is remarkably stable across the globe. It hovers at a constant 35 to 39 degrees Fahrenheit, or 2 to 4 degrees Celsius. This unvarying cold is one of the defining features of the deep. It is a cold that preserves, that slows, and that provides a steady, predictable environment for the life that has adapted to it. The deepest part of the ocean, the Hadal Zone, is named after Hades, the underworld. It is found exclusively in deep oceanic trenches. This zone is so remote and difficult to access that we have sent more missions to the moon than to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. It remains the most secluded and peaceful place on our planet, a silent world that is almost completely untouched by humanity. While some deep-sea creatures are giants, many of the most successful organisms are incredibly small. The seafloor is teeming with microscopic life, like foraminifera, tiny, single-celled organisms with intricate shells. These tiny beings are a quiet but vital part of the deep-sea ecosystem, their shells slowly accumulating to form much of the soft sediment on the abyssal plains. The deep ocean floor is where new Earth is born. At mid-ocean ridges, tectonic plates are slowly pulling apart, and magma from the mantle rises to fill the gap, creating new oceanic crust. This process is incredibly slow, happening at about the same speed that your fingernails grow. It is a silent geological ballet that has shaped our planet over hundreds of millions of years. One of the most ethereal and mysterious creatures of the deep is the bigfin squid. It is known from only a handful of sightings. It has a small body and incredibly long, thin, noodle-like arms and tentacles that can be more than 20 feet long. It hangs motionless in the water, its arms dangling straight down, creating a strange, ghostly silhouette. It is a beautiful and haunting phantom of the abyss. The global ocean is connected by a vast, slow-moving system of currents known as the thermohaline circulation, or the global conveyor belt. A single drop of water can take 1,000 years to complete this journey around the world, sinking in the cold polar regions and eventually rising in the warmer tropics. This slow, steady circulation connects all the oceans, regulating temperature and distributing nutrients, like a slow, planetary circulatory system. Our journey ends where it began, in the profound peace of the deep. It is a world without day or night, without seasons, without weather. A world of immense pressure, cold and darkness, but also of incredible stability and tranquility. It is the quiet heart of our planet, a place of timeless calm that will continue its slow, silent existence long after we have drifted off to sleep. It is a reminder that even in the most extreme places, there is a deep and abiding peace. As we slowly ascend from the depths, bring the feeling of that deep, quiet calm with you. Let the stillness of the abyss settle into your mind and your body. There is no need to return to the surface just yet. You can stay here in this peaceful space for as long as you wish. Allow the gentle currents of your breath to guide you into a deep and restful sleep. Sleep well,